This is one of the most iconic cameras on the market right now, the Fujifilm X100VI. Everybody's been talking about it, everybody wants one, and I've been lucky enough to have been shooting with this camera for almost half a year now. But I've also been shooting with another very iconic, very hard to get camera, and that is the Leica Q3. Now, although at face value it seems a little silly to compare what is a 2,000-ish Canadian dollar camera to an 8,000-ish Canadian dollar camera, there's actually a lot more similarities than differences between the X100VI and the Q3. So I thought instead of just doing a review like I normally would of the X100VI, there's been so many done after all, I would actually just give you my honest long-term thoughts and opinions between these two cameras, because I've been shooting on both of them almost kind of interchangeably since about November of 2025, and I've got a lot of thoughts about this camera, and about how the two of them stack up, what's the same, what's different, and if you're in the market for a camera like this, which one is actually worth buying. Let's get into it, let's break it down, and I'll give you my thoughts. So let's start with the specs, because that is, of course, a very important part of a camera system like this one or like the Q3. And it's also where things are probably the most different, I would say. The Fuji is a 40.2 megapixel APS-C sensor camera and has a 23mm f2 lens, fixed lens, cannot be removed, same as the Q3. And that gives you about a 35mm full frame equivalent, which I think for a lot of people is going to be a nice spot to be in, kind of that 35mm. The Fuji has 6-stop IBIS, in-body image stabilization, a 3-inch 1.62 million dot tilting touchscreen on the back, which is pretty nice. The touchscreen on the X100VI not only folds out, but it also can articulate to some degree. This is far better of an implementation actually than what the Q3 has. The Q3 screen, which is a little bit more difficult to get out, just pops out like this. Doesn't really articulate all that well. So you can get similar angles, but not quite the same range. Like this is as far as this goes. And then the X100VI not only has a 3.6 million dot EVF, but it also has a hybrid OVF, optical viewfinder setup, which is a little bit more difficult to get used to if it's your first time shooting on a system like the X100VI, but I have come to really enjoy using it, and is just such a nice way to shoot when you're on the go. It definitely bests out the shooting experience that you get on the Q3, which is just the electronic viewfinder. There is no optical viewfinder. And then of course, one of the other biggest features of the Fuji series of cameras, the X100VI, of course, is the film recipes that are loaded in the camera. Now, I don't really use these very often. I've occasionally switched between a couple, but there are about 20 preloaded, and you can load more. And they give the photos out of the X100VI just such a unique look. The way that you can make your footage look more filmic, more kind of old school, more vintage, vibrant, retro, what have you. There's a little bit of something in here for everybody. Honestly, I just shoot like I do with any of my cameras in RAW and then transfer them to Lightroom, and I edit my photos in Lightroom. I have my own presets that I've been spending the last year or so building out in Lightroom. If you want to get my presets for Lightroom, this is the first time they've ever been available, and they will be heavily discounted at the very top link down in the video description. Hope you use them, hope you enjoy them, hope you like them. Let me know down in the comments. The Fuji recipes, huge draw, and the effect is very nice. Of course, when you apply that recipe though, just know that that is affecting the image itself. So if you want to be able to go back and change something in post, you are quasi locking yourself in by using these recipes. Now, out of the box, the X100VI doesn't come kitted exactly as mine is here. I've of course bought a wrist strap to keep it secure when I'm shooting on the move. I bought a attachment plate with a grip just to make it easier to grip, because it is a very small camera without the rig on here. And I bought this lens hood, same as what you get stock with the Q3 actually. And this just allows you to apply filters on the inside, but it also just gives it a little bit of a more pronounced look when you're shooting on the move, a little bit more professional looking. But the experience of actually shooting on the X100VI is really quite nice. It's very tactile, very easy to get the hang of. As I said, even using that optical viewfinder is just kind of second nature after a very short period of time. This is by far the easiest camera I've ever just picked up and started shooting with. You have in the front what is essentially a zoom ring, which allows you to activate those crop modes and get a zoomed image from just rotating the dial. It does kind of affect the overall megapixel count of the final shot, but of course this allows for more versatility than you are going to get out of a fixed lens system normally. So that's really nice to have. And then of course you have your ISO controls, all the other controls, all very easily mapped, very easily accessible. Everything is very intuitively laid out. There's no better way to really put it than that. Now switching over to the Leica Q3, one of, again, the most iconic cameras I think of the moment. Also another extremely difficult camera to get a hold of, but it's 4 times the price of the X100VI. Is it worth the money? Let's break down the specs and how it works, the functions, the layout, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty stuff. So the Q3 is a 60.3 megapixel full frame sensor camera. It has, as I touched on already, that tilting touchscreen with not quite the same angles as the X100VI, but the functionality is there. And on the front is arguably one of the most incredible fixed lenses out there, the Summilux 28mm f1.7 lens. Now the Q3 also does have those simulated crop modes, so you can crop in effectively on the sensor to capture a closer up shot. It's not as easy or intuitive to trigger. You can't do it from the lens controls on the front of the camera, but you can set it to one of the programmable buttons at the back to trigger, so there is the functionality there. But honestly, the experience of the lens on the Q3, that Summilux lens, is, in my opinion, just so damn good. Like, the lens is just so tactile, everything is so clicky, so precise, the focus ring, everything is just so elegant and smooth when you're using it. And I love that there's also the integrated swap from normal shooting to macro mode. It's just so lovely using this lens system. But of course, I did get a few additional accessories for the Q3, like this finger grip at the back here, because similarly to the X100VI, as stock equipped, this is a very small camera body, but if you've got bigger hands like me, this little indent here on the back is not going to cut it. You are going to be cramping up like no tomorrow trying to hold such a heavy camera body that is so thin. You're going to want that thumb grip. It makes it so much easier to hold for a long shooting session. And another thing worth noting, I've used this for some B-roll in the past. The Q3 and the X100VI, they can both shoot video. The Q3 shoots video at 8K resolution, which looks really good. And we're going to talk about the images that come out of these two devices now. Before I get super nitty gritty, I'm just going to say right off the hop that I think regardless of which of these cameras you end up buying, either of these cameras is going to get you a fantastic looking image. What it comes down to for me really is the shooting experience, the color science of the two cameras, because they are different. The images do look different out of the gate, and what you can do with those end photos, because again, there is materially a difference between a 40 megapixel APS-C image and a 60 megapixel full frame image. Now, all of the photos that I'm going to show you in this video are shot raw. They were not shot with any filters applied. They've not been edited or retouched whatsoever in Lightroom. This is just to compare the raw, straight out of camera color science, profile appearance that these cameras capture. So first, this photo of my staircase. As I said, I've been shooting with these two cameras side by side since November, and immediately you can see just how much more vibrant and alive the image and color out of the Leica looks than the Fuji X100VI. It's not to say they're not both great looking images. I think the quality is fantastic. The bits of garland, the wood, texture in the railing itself, it's in focus, it's clear, but just the Fuji image, it's just so much more flat so to speak. You look at the blueberries on the garland, you can see them like crystal clear in the Leica image, whereas on the Fuji image, they're more muted. You almost can't tell immediately what they are. Here's another shot. This one's a bit more simple, a bit more neutral palette overall, of my coffee cup on my desk. And in this one, even with the more flat color composition from the X100VI, both these images look great. There's really not as large of a disparity between these two, and I think it's because one was shot in a darker environment. The last sample set was shot in a darker environment. This one was captured in a more neutral, well-lit environment, my home office. Of course, the Leica, the colors are still a little bit punchier. The rim of the cup is a little bit darker in tone. You can immediately see that sort of brown edging and rimming. And the black on the aluminum tray next to the cup is just darker, more vivid. But again, I think in this example, both images look great. I would not be offended at all whatsoever by either of these images. And then here's another set of sample shots. I took this in a hotel I was staying in for an event. And again, shot in lower light setting, and you can immediately tell the Fuji. You can tell which one it is. It's, again, that flatter white balance profile, not nearly as vibrant colors. The Leica image, richer, deeper tones. Overall, the Leica does have a little bit more of an edge in this setting. Now here's another example. This one I only shot with the Fuji. I went to the Bricks in the Six event in Toronto. The detail, clarity, the vibrance, the colors of this Fuji shot are excellent. It's so clear. Everything is in focus, really draws your eye. This is a fantastic example of what the X100VI can do in great conditions with really good light. And here's just another example. Same event, Bricks in the Six, again, shot just with the X100VI. Fantastic clarity, depth, detail of this basketball net. This is a phenomenal shot. Super pleased with the result on this one. Beautiful composition, great color, great detail. Again, an excellent example of what the X100VI can do in the right circumstances. Now, last for the comparison, these two images aren't perfectly aligned. I was shooting in a big crowd, but these are from the 2026 Canadian International Auto Show in Toronto of a one-of-one Bugatti, and you can just tell the difference in detail, lighting, quality is pretty astounding, but also the image out of the X100VI is still really good, really punchy. The focus is beautiful. The focus fall off is really nice. You still get most of the detail. You still get most of the color effect on the hood of the car. But again, the white balance is just very different in the Fuji shot raw out of camera. It just doesn't quite look as vibrant or as alive as what the Leica produces straight out of camera. Now, the resolution difference, although megapixel count, it doesn't sound like a lot. You have one that is APS-C sensor and one that is full frame. And that actually is a substantial difference when you break it down. A raw photo out of the X100VI is going to be about 40 to 50 megabytes in size, and the image resolution is going to be 7728 by 5152 pixels. The Q3, on the other hand, is in a whole different world. It's going to be an 80 to 90 megabyte raw file with a 9520 by 6336 pixel resolution. That is a massive, massive file with a ton of detail to work with. And honestly, one of my favorite things to do with the Q3 when shooting is frame something that's further back in the distance. I can blow that up. I can use so much of that image, even with the subject being so far away, and the X100VI just cannot possibly compete in that same realm. There is just no contest. This photo here of the CN Tower that I captured a couple months back, this is a perfect example of that. Straight out of camera from my Q3, no editing, nothing, just dialed in the CN Tower in the distance, and you can zoom so far in on this image and it still looks so sharp, so crisp. You could absolutely use this on not just social or your website, but print even. This is a really, really incredible display of the performance difference of the Q3. Now, it's not to say that an image out of the X100VI zoomed in isn't going to look good. you can still get some incredible shots like that one from Bricks in the Six that I showed you of the Lego rocket. Really, really incredible image to come out of a camera this small, but blowing it up too much, you just cannot do the same thing you can with an image out of the Q3. You just do not have the resolution, the size of image to work with. It's in a different world in terms of the raw file output. But with all of that being said, this is a $2,000 camera, and it's actually so much fun to shoot with. And it's because shooting on the Q3 is like this whole experience. You're getting the Leica look and feel and the Leica color science, and it's slower. The camera itself is physically slower, the software is slower, it takes longer to save an image. The files are just so much bigger, twice the size, literally. Shooting on the X100VI, on the other hand, is bloody fast. The camera and the software that runs it are quick and responsive and intuitive and easy to use. You can just go, 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 burst and shoot, shoot, shoot. You can just absolutely chuck this thing around like it's any Sony APS-C sensor camera, for that matter. I can shoot as fast on this as I can on my A6700, and the image resolution is great. The color science is pretty good. You can apply a different filmic setting if you want to quickly enhance the look of the picture coming right out of the camera. There's a lot of versatility, flexibility, and fun that you can have shooting on the X100VI. So really, I would say that this is the camera that most people, if you're looking for a camera like this, should consider buying. It's going to get you 80% of the way to where the Q3 is. Yes, it's lacking the full frame sensor. Yes, it's lacking about 20 megapixels between the two. Only has an f2 lens versus f1.7. But for 80+% of use cases, do you need all of that? I think the real answer is probably not. And like I said, it's a very different way of shooting. It's fast, it's tactile, it's engaging. Now, I love my Q3. I love shooting on this camera. It's a unique experience every time, but it is so much slower. The autofocus on the Q3, even after iterations and iterations of software improvements, it's just not the best. The autofocus on the X100VI is really, really good. Autofocus on the Q3, not so much. Really great manual focus. It's really good. It's really tactile. It's really smooth and responsive, but it's slower. This is a camera that you have to hunker down, do all your settings, dial in your focus, dial in your exposure, and then when you press the shutter button, you need to give it like a second to capture that image. It's a different way of shooting. The results are incredible. The images out of here are some of the best photos I have ever taken in my life. The Q3 never ceases to amaze me with what it produces. But this is not a camera for the masses. And honestly, I think most people who maybe aspire for something like this won't actually enjoy the shooting experience as much as they think they will. I think there's just so much hype around the Q3, and it's more utilitarian than the X100VI is. Now, granted, it feels every bit worth the money. This thing is built like a freaking tank. It is so heavy. It is so solid. It looks brand spanking new still, like beautiful to hold, feels incredible. Everything about it, from the dials to the controls, really, really super well built, incredible quality. And yes, the X100VI is definitely a little bit more flimsy. It feels a little bit cheaper. It's got some plastic parts to it, but it doesn't feel like it couldn't handle a good photo op. It's a quarter of the price, and you're getting a really incredible, really fun shooting experience. And I have to say that it's worth every bit of the hype for the money. Okay, long rant over. Thank you guys for watching all of that. Please let me know down in the comments your thoughts between the X100VI and the Leica Q3. Which one is your favorite? Which one do you maybe have? Or which one are you aspiring to? Happy to answer any further follow-up questions down below. Again, if you want to check out my Lightroom presets, or if you want to check out the accessory pieces that I've kitted out either of these cameras with, I'll leave everything linked down below. Go check them out. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you again soon in the next video.